Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. Hopefully, this is working. I've had some problems doing doing a stream with Chris with the internet. I'm not 100% sure if it's working. If everybody's in the chat group, just say, yeah, it's working. That'd be great. Alrighty. Well, today we're going to be talking about what should if Davinci, if you were me and I were to get access to all my retirement funds, where would I put it? Because obviously we're going into a greater depression. So where do I put my money? And should I put it all on Bitcoin? And you know what? If I had a bunch of money in retirement savings accounts, what I would do is definitely put it all into Bitcoin. Now we're going to talk about the risks. What you're risking by doing so? What's the advantages of doing so? And can you see a large return on this huge risk? Yes, you will. And don't get it twisted. It is a huge risk, and the risks are not where you think it is. Not where Bitcoin is going to go to zero. That's not a huge risk. And we're going to talk about that today. So yeah, NT is not here today. He's at home, but he's in the chat group. And later on, after I talk about a little bit about TA and not too much today, and we're going to discuss what the risks are for going all in. All right. So with that said, I'm just going to bring up the charts here, and let's see here. Where are we? There we go. There you go. So now, as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks of nonstop upward movement, and we're hitting the 61.8. This is a little bit of resistance. Let's see if it didn't pull back very much, as you can tell, from the 61.8. If we head over, we've pulled back a little bit. Let's go to the 4 hour, which was around the $10,000 mark, and looks like we're consolidating some more before we probably do another leg up. If things don't listen to that trade there. I was just doing some measurements. Yeah, I do. I really think that this thing should basically roll back up, and we're gonna go a lot higher. I think Bitcoin's ready to surprise us all. How high it's gonna go this time around before the halving. And so right now, what we're looking at for Bitcoin, what I'm projecting here is basically around the 11,600 is where I would be interested in taking profits. We can see a little bit of confluencing events here. We see the extension really close to that point, and also we can go over to the 78.6 is also one of those areas. And my cat, she's trying to destroy my chair. Waffles, I swear to God, I'm going to kill you. Waffles, stop it. Damn cat. Anyways, I should have gotten rid of her. Right, you know what? I am going to get rid of her because she's going to just cause trouble. Come on, no, she got away from me. Oh man, so I should have gotten rid of her before I started the stream. But anyways, all right. With that said, let's talk about what the risks are by taking all your money in retirement funds and putting it into Bitcoin. And believe it or not, right, when you assess risk, right, you want to have what's the low risk event and what's a high risk event, right? So what on one side you have what could possibly happen, but it's a low risk, and what's most likely to happen, that's negative. Of course, these are negative risks, right? That may occur, and I have to make sure that I plan to make sure that doesn't happen, or that I do things correctly and very carefully and methodically so that I don't lose the money, right? Okay, so the risk, the lowest probability risk is Bitcoin going to zero, believe it or not. That is the low on it, but it's still a risk. It's a low probability risk. right? And so I would put that on the lower side of occurrences. Basically, there's an inflation bug. Bitcoin drops significantly because somebody found a way to print more bitcoins. Is another option, another low probability risk. But hey, you know what? I put that on the lower side of the risk factor. Now, what is higher as we move into the risks levels, right? When you planning to go all in Bitcoin, some of the risk factors, right? Because a lot of people have gone all in Bitcoin and lost it all, not because they were trading, right? They went on to Bybit or BitMEX, and they went 100x leverage on their total amount of money. And I don't know anybody has done that, but I'm sure somebody has. Don't do that, right? That's just don't, right? Don't make that one of your risk issues, right? And so what you need the real risk issue is that the first thing you need to do, right, is go open an account on an exchange, buy a few Bitcoins so that you know how to do that, and leave it at the exchange for now. When you first get into Bitcoin, this is the first step you should do, right? Other ways of course to getting Bitcoin is obviously earning Bitcoins, but let's just assume that you're just taking out your retirement, because a lot of people have 401ks that they can withdraw because of the virus, and they can withdraw that now and move it to another asset without tax penalties. And so basically they could tell them that you're needing it for emergency. But anyways, it doesn't matter. You could just say, hey, you're using it for emergency, and then actually move it into Bitcoins. Now, the issue is, right, now that you purchase it at an exchange, you have to understand the risk at that exchange is that exchange could collapse. There's a 100% probability that sometime in the future, one day in the future, that exchange will get hacked. That's just inevitable because all the money's there, right? If all the money's there, then somebody's going to be looking to a way to steal it from that exchange. Not only that, right? If not, somebody doesn't hack it within the next little while, you also have a political risk as well on any exchange that you decide to transfer the money, cash money, purchase the cryptocurrencies, the Bitcoin. Actually, Bitcoin is what I'm thinking you should be buying, not anything else. And saving it right there for now, right? That's one risk that you will have if you save it on an exchange, and that's the first step you should do if you're interested in buying Bitcoins, and not take the whole retirement fund and buy it right now, because you should split it up into 4 parts, 10 parts, up to 10 parts is maximum. Depends on how you feel, right? And then take one part, right, and buy it right now. And then later, every week, decide when you're going to buy, every week, every month, or whatever it is. You can take another part and buy some more, because you know what? Nobody knows what the price action is going to be, and neither do you. So the best way to deal with this, and don't tell me that, oh, well, I'm going to wait for the dump to go all in. No, that's not going to happen. You're going to panic buy at the top and watch it dump, because because you're an emotional creature. You'll just do that, especially if Bitcoin starts to go higher than the 11,600 level, which I'm targeting. You'll start to freak out, especially if it goes over the 14,000 level. You'll just panic buy, and that's just the wrong thing to do. So don't do that. Don't panic buy, right? If Bitcoin takes off, just be methodical. Just put some money in every week, every month, or whatever it is, and do that to get into Bitcoins, right? And leave it at the exchange for now. Because the next risk is you making a mistake. That is the number one, that's the biggest mistake, that's the biggest risk you have managing Bitcoins. The absolute massive risk is your mistakes, your errors. I cannot tell you how many people who have called me up and asked me, is there any way that they can get them their Bitcoins back because they sent it either to the wrong address, which went to nowhere, or to somebody else, right? That is the number one killer of all your money, is your mistake. And that's why when you do get a little bit of Bitcoin, the first thing you need to do when you start getting into Bitcoins is the first thing you need to do is transfer a small amount, like $10, $5 to your wallet on your phone. Get a phone wallet such as BitPay, right? And transfer a small amount to that phone. And then delete that wallet on your phone, restore that wallet on your phone, and make sure that the restore process works, right? And then you still have the small amount of Bitcoins in your phone. That's the absolute first thing you can do. And the reason why you want to delete the wallet from your phone is because I know people who have written down their 12 words or their passphrase. They've written down their phrases, and then they basically lost everything because they've written it down incorrectly. And I was like, oh my God, man. And they lost their whole life savings. That's just crushing to lose all your life savings because you made a mistake like that you've written down the words incorrectly, right? Or you couldn't read what you wrote. So make sure when you write down the words, right? It's okay. Go onto a computer, type them out, print it out, and then put it into a safe. Once you've made sure that those words are correct and you can restore your wallet, put it in the safe, right? And do that, because man, that's one way to lose it. Now, I'm not saying that you should use 100% a phone wallet for your life savings. That's probably not the best idea to move all your life savings onto a wallet on your phone. I'm just saying to just get used to using the wallet on your phone. So, for example, transfer a small amount, right? And then go buy something. Go buy something like Pandora's wallet with your funds. Buy a 1 month subscription of Pandora's wallet, and then have access to my private Telegram group is one way to use those funds inside the wallet, the phone wallet. This way, so you get some exposure to the cryptocurrency, to Bitcoin, and learn how to use it carefully, right? There's still going to be mistakes being made, so you have to leave the money at the exchange for now, right? That's the safest place for now, before you actually go on to the next step, which is a treasure wallet and so forth. Because again, the biggest risk you have with Bitcoin is that you make a mistake, and so you have to double check, triple check everything that you do, right? On when you're dealing with Bitcoin, because man, so many people have lost a lot of money. And so I'm going to be putting together actually a course outline on how to manage your Bitcoins, assuming you have no experience at all, and how to understand all the different tips and tricks. Because once you transfer Bitcoin, sometimes people are like, oh my God, it's not coming. It's not here. It's not on my wallet. What am I going to do? And so I want you to know what to do in those cases, how to check to see where your Bitcoin is, when's it coming in, and so forth. So you could do all of that by just going to a blockchain.info and doing that. But I want to do a complete video explaining how to handle your money. But definitely, it makes the most sense, because why does it make the most sense to go all in right now? Let's take, first off, right? Why is Bitcoin going to go so high? Well, oops, what happened here? Oh no, I lost the feed to my computers. Oh wow, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, there we go. There it is. Okay, so money. What's the traits of money? Because Bitcoin is money. Period. Hands down. It's a new kind of money, right? Peter Schiff can say, "No, it's not money. No, it's not money." All he wants, right? But you know what? What money is just a tool, and a tool is something that you use to accomplish something else. So, for example, you purchase a hammer not to get rich, right? You purchase a hammer not to paint a house. No, you purchase a hammer to place a nail and put together wood and hammer the nail into the wood, and so that two parts can stick together. That's what you use a hammer for, and also you can use it to take the nails out as well. Well, you can use other things as a hammer. You can use my cell phone as a hammer, but it's not the greatest tool as a hammer. But I could do so. So why is a hammer and my cell phone different? It's because they have certain traits that allow the hammer to work better than my cell phone, right? And so with that said, same with money. There are certain traits about money that works better than others. So what are those traits, right? And you can see them here. I mean, we've talked about this, and I'm not going to go over this actually. I just want to show you this this chart here, and because I want to get to the questions and answers period, because I've been blathering on too long. But basically, Bitcoin has more traits than all other money. It has additional traits, right? Because it's decentralized. We know what the monetary policy is going to be, right? Is the key thing. We know that nobody's going to print more and then steal our wealth from us, right? That's the key thing about Bitcoin that allows it to be an obvious thing to go all in on, for me at least. And then, it has all the rest of the traits that all the other monies that we've used in the past, right? And more. So because, the key thing for me is, a few other key things is just, I can just basically, sell all my assets, go into Bitcoin, and walk across the border, and they go, "Oh, do you have more than 10,000?" Because governments love to control you through the money and prevent you from leaving with all your money. So you can walk across the border, and they can say, "Hey, do you have any money?" And I'm like, "No, I got nothing." And it can be all up in here, right? So that's a beautiful thing about Bitcoin, right? You don't have to worry about governments anymore, and that's what's going to it's going to change the way governments behave. They're not going to be listening to the uber rich anymore. They're going to be listening to you. I love it, because you could leave, basically. You can pack up and leave, right? If they want to be jacks, right? You can pack up and leave, and so that's why they'll start to behave once the money is now impossible for them to take from you, right? When or extort from you in any form or fashion. All right. With that said, I'm going to head over to the chat group and look for all the different let's see here, super chats, and say thank you to all those people who sent super chats today. It was like I got like 9K, almost 10K of super chats. That's in Chilean pesos, not USD. Thank you, guys. All right, so Super Googly, always the number one super chatter, right? What is your view on crypto Kirby? Oh, I have no idea what that is. I don't even know if it's a person or it's another currency. I'm gonna have to look at that another time. All right. Let's see here. Ice Dira Moody, $2. Thank you for your $2 donation. Appreciate that. All right. So Ice Dira Moody, another $5. If you can leave your kids one crypto, what will it be? It can be BTC or ETH. Okay, I'd say Bitcoin, of course, right? Because Bitcoin most likely be the most valued coin because Bitcoin was designed to be money. Ethereum was not. So yeah, that's why. All right. So let's see here. What else do we have here? Do we have any more? Yes, we have from Zane Robitsky. Zane Robitsky. My friend tells me BTC will drop to 1K, then 10 years to recover to 20K, and he thinks maximum it will go to his 30K in decades. What do you think? What's the basis of his analysis? Did you ask him that? The does he understand that Bitcoin is trying to be money, and everybody's printing it money, and so that means that what he's trying to say is that the printing of money will make it and giving it to people for free makes it more valuable. You can tell him that, right? Do you really think that the printing of money, lots of money, trillions and trillions of dollars, if everybody got $1 trillion, everybody would be rich, and nobody would buy Bitcoin, right? Is that what you're saying, right? Okay, so obviously that's not the case. Bitcoin is not going to 1K, right? We know that what, especially since right, you could always point. Another thing you could point to him, right, is how Paul Tudor Jones is betting big on Bitcoin. He's got 1% of his hedge fund in Bitcoin. Yeah, okay. And I don't think that guy would be doing that if he thought it was going to $1,000. So yeah, that's not going to happen. But I personally, I don't see it doing that. Even if it did, I'd still be buying, right? I know what Bitcoin is. Unless there's a fundamental change in Bitcoin, I'm going to be buying it. Right, and it's going to be difficult for anybody who takes their retirement fund and puts it in Bitcoin. Very difficult. I get it, man, because you know what? When I sold at the top of Bitcoin, I mean, it was so hard for me to sell. It was not funny. I had to get my wife to sell it for me, and it's not an easy thing to convert yourself over from one asset class to another. It's just not. Right, especially when you see it going up and up and up and up, you can't. You feel like, hey, why should I sell my thing going up to go buy something going down? It just doesn't make any sense. But that's how you have to make. That's how you make great wealth, is by doing that, by moving out of assets that are overvalued and moving to assets that are undervalued. All right, so let's see if there's any questions in the chat group here. Let me see here. So Patrick, hey Davinci, what is the direction do you think Kyber Networks is going to go with the project? I don't know what Kyber Networks is, honestly. I'm sorry. All right. Okay. Curtis says, hi Davinci. In your opinion, what is the maximum amount of Bitcoin the average person should hold to become wealthy in the future? Oh, okay, well, that's a good question. That's you know what? Honestly, a small amount of Bitcoin will be enough to be wealthy over the larger term picture, meaning 10 years, 10 to 10. I'd say 10 years, like the next in 2030. So you could if you could hodl 0.1 Bitcoin and hold that for 2030, you'll be one of the very few people. Like, consider this, right? I think one day a sat will be worth what a dollar is today. And so one Bitcoin is made up of 100 million sats. So if you had $10 million today, right, wouldn't that make you rich? Yeah, well, you can see how do you see how 0.1 Bitcoin will make you extremely rich in the future, in 10 years from now, basically. So yeah, that's So consider that when you're doing your math. Of course, if you can get to 1 Bitcoin, even better. All right, let's see here. Did my feed crash here? Yes, it did. Okay. All right, so Diego. Oops, it's a little slow. Okay, Diego. In your expertise, previous halvings, how alt reacted? Okay. I was I only got into alts in the in 2015, big time. In 2015, and then of course in 2016 alts rallied along with Bitcoin, but we had like lots of seasons in the alt seasons back in 2016, 2015, 16, and 17. We had seasonal events basically. We had during the February, March, and April timeframe, alts would pump, and then in May, June they would dump, and then near the end of the end of June, going into July, August, and September, they would pump again, and those were the normal seasons for altcoins. But notice how that did not transpire this last go around. Over the last year almost, we've not seen the alts do any kind of major pump, even mediocre pump, in the last little while. So I really think going into this hyperinflationary event, all the altcoins will get like a serious bid and pump it massively, only because people will move to something cheaper because they'll feel. I get this time and time again. Somebody goes, "Hey, Bitcoin's just too expensive. I can't afford a Bitcoin. I'm not buying that. It's too expensive." And so they look to buy something that's cheaper, and they buy any kind of alt that costs a lot less because they feel that they can get a lot more upside on them. And so that's not going to stop just because alts did badly in this last year and it collapsed a lot after the peak in 2018, February 2018. They collapsed 95% in some cases. People are going to forget that, and because they need to protect their wealth, and they're going to go nuts over alts. So you can expect that coming when Bitcoin starts to pump, and everybody's talking about the fundamentals of why people are buying Bitcoin because of the dollar basically collapsing. Okay, next question. Let's see here. What's the best way to anonymously cash out of Bitcoin? Is from Peanut Quinn. You sell it on the streets. You basically find people to sell it to. Basically, you put up an ad. Hey, I have some Bitcoins to sell, and I'm going to sell it at this price. And then you just meet at the bank or someplace, and then you do the transaction, and you get out of Bitcoin that way, without anybody knowing. So that's one way to do that. Same, you do that. I did that with gold and silver, right? I just put ads up that, hey, I want to buy or I want to sell, and I kept it private, and that's what I did. Personal training for a week. Okay, so Brandon Jackson said, "Can you fly me out for a personal training for a week?" No, Brandon, I cannot. It's the country's in lockdown. Maybe when we're out of the lockdown, I'll think about it. All right, let's see here. What else do we have here? Near the 2010, important. Do you know decentralized Nash exchange? Do I know decentralized Nash exchange? No, I don't. Sorry, I never heard of it. Let's see here. Can't see what's happening. Okay. Let's see. Let's go for one more question. That was. Let's see here. What do we got? I haven't seen any interesting questions. Well, okay, here we go from Marco. If ETH will outperform Bitcoin in a couple of years, like you said in a previous video, why do you convert all your BTC and go to ETH? Well, the reason why is because ETH is not designed to be money, right? And of course, I could be wrong on that assumption. I don't think so, but I'm willing to bet. I've got some bets on ETH, and so I'm happy with that. I have a percentage in ETH that I'm willing to bet on it. That I'm right. I really think that ETH will outperform Bitcoin for a while. But here's the thing: that outperformance may occur after Bitcoin peaks. Right. So that's what happened last time. So don't be surprised if that happens again. That Bitcoin, Ethereum, right, outperforms after Bitcoin reaches the top. So consider that in your equation, right? You don't have to bet on the absolute best horse. I mean, there's going to be you know what? There's going to be a coin out there that performs way better than both ETH and Bitcoin combined, right? But the risk is a lot higher. And so that's how I feel about Ethereum. There's a lot more risk in it than you have in Bitcoin. So that's why I really don't think it's a good idea to go all in on Ethereum. All right, so we got one super chat, and then I'm gonna call it a day. Any thoughts on Epic? Forked from a grin, non-funded Genesis mine, no pre-mine, community-driven, CPU, ASIC, PAL mining. Reminds me of Monero forked from Bytecoin with better supply economics. Interesting. I got to check this out, this Epic coin, because my only concern with Grin is that they have consistent inflation, right? And so it will always be inflated, and because of that, it's going to be a little difficult to detect any inflation bugs. And I think that's why they did that on purpose, if you ask me. And I'm like a little concerned about that. So if they had done it like Bitcoin, we would have been able to see whether or not an inflation bug appeared by the rapid cutting of the amount of money coming into circulation would cause people to bid up prices rapidly, just like, and you know that there was no inflation bug just by the fact that the prices were bid up. And yeah, and that's why it would have been so much better for them to have done it that way. I'm so shocked that they did not. Anyways, all right. Well, thank you all for coming out and watching this YouTube stream today. And if you haven't seen the video popping up right here or right here, please check it out. And thank you for watching. Cheers.